Last time we talked about if what Pokemon are worth for you to get Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So you are playing Generation 3. Imagine you play Pokemon the Generation 3 games and you intend to complete the Pokédex, make the best team possible or whatnot. And your options are really pretty much fucked. Because you can't catch you can't trade over Pokemon from the previous games, and the Pokédex is limited, and even the remakes don't have, perhaps don't have all Pokemon. So you may have to sacrifice the need to get a GameCube or Nintendo Wii and get yourself a GameCube link cable with Pokemon Colosseum, perhaps. Like Colosseum has way less Pokemon than XD Gale of Darkness. As the Pokemon here don't have any rare moves, they might have some HM or TM moves, which you can teach normally, but perhaps in certain cases you can argue that you wouldn't want to spend replay a game to get that specific TM, and technically you could just maybe you don't have even multiple memory cards to play, let's say, XD to get multiple copies of the same TM. So what to do in that case? Would you consider buying Pokemon Colosseum? And I will rank these Pokemon based on uniqueness. Like S rank is you can only get it in this game. My rank is these circumstances are reasonable to get this game because these Pokemon are pretty hard to get in general in the other games, so here you get them pretty much easier. And B rank is these Pokemon are not, you can obtain them in other games, but there are some how do I say, you need they are restricted to one game. They are easy to get, but you have to buy maybe Ruby, maybe Sapphire, maybe just Fire Red or just Leaf Green. C rank is from here this is a bit hard to rank. I think here two games have the Pokemon you are looking for. This 3 games maybe, or it's a good Pokemon you are getting, you don't have to work for it. And F rank is honestly don't bother getting the game just for these Pokemon, and I think this seems reasonable. So let's start with, I think we can immediately put this in S rank, and it's Ho-Oh. You are buying this game just for Ho-Oh, honestly, because the only other way to get Ho-Oh is you need an event exclusive item called the Mystic Ticket, and with that you can go in Fire Red, Leaf Green or Emerald to Naval Rock and get Ho-Oh and Lugia. Well, the bad news is this is a Generation 3. You are playing Generation 3 and Ho-Oh mystery tickets aren't distributed anymore. Like in as the recording of this video, Generation 9 has been announced. Where do you get Mystic Ticket? The other way to get the Mystic Ticket is obviously through cheat devices, or you are crafty enough and experienced enough to write arbitrary codes and no double corruption or something, and glitch yourself another mystic ticket that is working, honestly. Like you, just having the ticket doesn't help. I have multiple copies of the mystic ticket and they are all useless. So, Ho is probably the easiest to get in this game, but the annoying as you thing is, and this applies to almost all Pokemon, you have first to purify all these shadow Pokemon. Like, not really all, there are a few that are e-reader exclusive, but we get to them. And the worst thing about it is you have to fight 100 battles in the post game with your Pokemon Colosseum game file, so you can't use your GBA game teams to beat it. You can trade over these GBA Pokemon, like you can trade over your most powerful Pokemon and just one shot pretty much everyone, but it still takes about 3 hours or more. It's just a time sink to get one legendary bird. So, and that should already indicate how this tier list may go. I think I may rank these a bit on usefulness, because otherwise I don't need this many tier lists. So let's go. There's another thing you may want to, this is a bit okay, I think we can make it work. I will take it back. A rank is, you can get these Pokemon in other games, but you don't, it's better you get them in these games simply because they have it's really hard to explain, so I will just show it to you. I'm putting Raikou, Suicune and Entei to this tier, and I will explain why you want to buy this game to get the legendary beast and not Fire Red and Leaf Green. So you may use Fire Red and Leaf Green, but if you want to use Entei, Raikou and Suicune to play, let's say, competitive, maybe beats the Battle Factory, Battle Frontier, you want them in this game because the legendary beasts in Fire Red and Leaf Green are glitched. So 5 of the stats are just 0, so soft resetting for them is a waste of time. This is why you want to buy Colosseum. Honestly, are these worth S rank? Well, they aren't as important. You can soft reset for them, but it's tedious. Otherwise, yeah, you buy these games to get these Pokemon. I got myself several of these. I soft reset. Even you don't even need to soft reset for good IVs compared to Fire Red and Leaf Green, because the stats are always awful. Just the first modest nature Suicune you can catch is already better than the soft resetting for a roaming Suicune. It may take a while, but I think it's less tedious, because first, even if you can just use a Master Ball, I think you just are better off catching Suicune in this game, simply because it's easier to get IVs in the 10 point range compared to just getting the one. It's more worth it. Timid, modest, bold nature, these are really useful natures you can soft reset for, and it's more worthwhile to just hunt them in Colosseum. And you can also hunt for the other beasts, so you don't have to restart your game to get another beast. Now the starters. Now this is you can get them in other games, but they are just in few and they are really rare, or they are pretty hard to get. I think in this case I put the Generation 2 starters here. So Generation 2 starters you can get in Emerald and Pokemon Colosseum Gale of Darkness, but in this game you get them much easier. So in order to the only annoying thing is that you have to purify them, but they don't have a long purify range, so they are quickly purified. The next thing is to get you can pick all three of them, so that makes them better than getting Emerald. So in Emerald, to get one of the starters already costs you to fill the whole index. You need to complete the whole index, which means you need other games to get other Pokemon, and that's pretty annoying. So just get Colosseum and trade over these Pokemon. Next is XD Gale of Darkness. You need to beat Mount Battle from beginning to end without switching your team and taking up getting out of the tower. So just to get one of them, and you can do that repeatedly, but you have to beat 100 trainers, and it can get tedious. And so compared to this, you catch one of these, finish the game, and catch the rest easily throughout the post game. So this is much more tolerable than fighting multiple tedious battles. While here you can catch Pokemon, you can ignore them, you can focus on the gameplay, so you can just enjoy the game instead of fighting. Yeah, it's a game where you will replace a lot of trainers, but there's more variety when you have more freedom of choice. You can spend your time exploring and such, so you aren't halting and you aren't forced to, once you enter you have to finish this bullshit to get the certain Pokemon. But then again, these starters have rare moves, so maybe you don't that's a reason maybe why you don't want to get Colosseum compared to the Gale of Darkness when it comes to starters. So there's an argument to be made. And another thing is these two. So if you play Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, there's something called the internal clock, which changes the day, what daytime it is without you seeing it, and the berry scroll and other event exclude daily event bullshit. But that battery can eventually die. So, like mine died. So it will lock you out from one of these. So you have a choice to make, or you have Fire Red and Leaf Green, and you can't get ice of these because there is no time in Fire Red and Leaf Green. So Eevee can't evolve in Espeon nor Umbreon. So what is the choice you can make? It's a good question. You can get Pokemon Gale of Darkness and evolve your only Eevee to either Espeon or Umbreon, or you just buy Colosseum and get both, and they are your starter Pokemon. So you start off with Espeon and Umbreon, and can, after the game, the main story is over, you can just trade them over, and that's great. To be honest, this is a good reason to buy Pokemon Colosseum. These Pokemon really complement each other too, for the gameplay, so I don't really normally consider gameplay a factor, but that's a thing you can honestly consider. So, is there anything else that is worth B rank? So let me check. C rank will be you can get 1. D rank will be 2 games. And then there are Pokemon that have really a pain in the ass to train. I think they can go to C and D tier 2. So let's see. Which of these Pokemon you can get only in one game in the main series? Although there's Miltank, you can catch Miltank just in Emerald, and it's a Safari Zone exclusive. And it's a real pain to get, because it has a rare encounter, and how should I put it? It's not fun to get Miltank. Miltank is that kind of Pokemon. Then you have Fluffy, also exclusive to. With Fluffy, there's a choice to be made. So if you want Fluffy, you are better off to get so you can catch it in Emerald as a Mareep, but you can honestly get it if you buy Gale of Darkness, so D-Rank perhaps? I have to think about that. It's a really difficult decision in this regard. What about Sudowoodo? Sudowoodo is Emerald exclusive in the main games. You can't catch it in the others, so he goes to C rank. Hoppip you can also catch in. You can catch it in Emerald and XD. So if you get a GameCube, you may want to get XD instead. Smeargle, I don't know if you can get it in Fire Red or Leaf Green, but honestly Smeargle is a pretty decent Pokemon to use, so Emerald exclusive from my memory, and you can't get it in others. You can get in the Safari Zone of Emerald a C rank, because there aren't any other games you can get it from what I know. And Wooper, Safari Zone again. It's Quagsire, I know. You can catch Wooper in the world of Pokemon XD, so D rank. Pretty sure you can get them Fire Red or Leaf Green. So this is a bit. Again, this one is because you can get it in Emerald and XD, so really questionable. And let's so Tyranitar you can get in Fire Red and Leaf Green. You can get a Larvitar in XD Gale of Darkness, and it's a trade, so grinding is really quick. So normally I would put it in C because of that, because it takes a while to evolve, but you have to free it from its shadow mode, and that can be tedious, so I put it in D rank. On the contrary, Metagross I can put, you can get it in more games, in one more game. Oh, let me think. If we don't count XD, because you get Tyranitar also in XD technically, they are pretty much the same. But Metagross, you have to train your Pokemon to evolve to Metagross, and it has a really slow level curve, while the Larvitar you get in XD has a quick level curve and comes with some really neat egg moves. So I would put Tyranitar still in D rank because it's Tyranitar, Larvitar, it's evolution. Piloswine, I can't honestly, it's F rank. Remoraid is one of these Pokemon that are really difficult to find where I remember where to get it. It's a really annoying to get Pokemon, so I think I am comfortable to put in a D rank. I don't exactly remember much about Mentane in some of the games. I think D rank is fine because it's still a really hard encounter. And same with these two, where is it? Sneasel and Delibird. Houndoom you can only get in Emerald and XD, so I think you can comfortably get catch your Houndoom. And Stanler the same, you can only get it in Emerald. One more games compared to the others, but you know. Ozaring I think is better in D rank. I have to really remember if you can catch it in Fire Red or Leaf Green. Heracross, sadly, F rank, because you catch it in almost every game but XD. As a Fire Zone exclusive for the whole games, but again, it's not that hard to get. It's pretty much in almost everywhere. And the only reason you would get Heracross in this game is for the in-game run to complete a hoe and stuff. You wouldn't buy this game to use just to get a Heracross. That would be pretty insane. Honchkrow and these two are a bit hard. I know you can get this in Fire Red, and I assume you can get this also in Fire Red. So these are D rank, even if they are rare, you can get them comfortably. You can get in Fire Red and Leaf Green also a Dunsparce. You need the Safari Zone to get Granbull. But can you get a Snubble in XD? I think I feel comfortable to putting it in C rank. Same with Quillfish. Squirtle you can also get in XD, so I feel more comfortable putting it in D rank. Can get Yanma in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'm not sure if you can get it in Emerald, but it doesn't really matter. You can get Togepi in Fire Red and Leaf Green, so Togetic is not really that impressive. Sunflora. Is it? Can you catch the pre-evolution in other games but Emerald? Don't think so. C rank. It's really impressive. Ariados is F rank. Ariados is complete trash. and you don't just buy XD. If you want spinner rank, you get a spinner rank with signal beam. It's much more appealing than getting this trying to get an Ariados. I feel with I feel more comfortable putting Ladian to D rank compared to it. Noctowl is Emerald exclusive from my memory, so C rank. Ferret has Iron Tail. Is that enough to put it to D rank? I don't know, because you can get Centrate in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Centric, how rare is Centric? I don't think Centric is that rare. It's really hard. I think it's comfortable in F rank in this regard. So does Vibrava have a slow level curve? I honestly don't think so. Can also catch can catch it in like 4 games already. So would you use Vibrava? Using it in game is great, but training for Vibrava, you're not wasting too much. It's a waste of time, honestly. No, I don't know how to put it. I don't think it's worth getting this game to have a quick evolving Vibrava. You get this in just 2 games, Ruby and Sapphire, and honestly also in Gale of Darkness, but in Gale of Darkness it has some rare moves, so F rank. Swablu F rank, Tropius F rank, Absol also F rank. With Plazo, it's rare in, was it in Sapphire or Ruby? I don't know, but in Emerald it's rare, but in Emerald you can also trade a Skitty for it. So still F rank. This wannabe Pikachu can also go to F rank. Hitmontop is F rank for one simple reason: you can get Hitmonlee or Hitmontop in Fire Red and Leaf Green, then you can breed for one, and you can also get Hitmontop and Hitmonlee in XD, trade it over and breed yourself a what is it called? A Tyro. But if you are not comfortable to manage to evolve your Tyrogue into Hitmontop, because you're pretty much too lazy or don't know how exactly you can put your resources into evolving it, having equal attack and defense stat, then I guess you can put it in D rank, but I think nobody really cares about that. Escarmo you can get in the Hoenn games pretty easily, and you probably have a Skarmory, so don't bother. Shackle, you can get it in Emerald. In XD you can also get it with... In Emerald you need to break a bunch of rocks in the Safari Zone, and then you have to catch it. That's tedious. Then in XD the egg moves aren't really worth it, so I feel comfortable to putting it D rank just because. Now we go to Slugma. Slugma's a stupid Pokemon. Slugma is almost in every game. Slugma sucks also ass. So Slugma fits in pretty much any category to F rank. And honestly, with this we actually finished the tier list with the Pokemon that you can get normally. And these Pokemon are just e-reader exclusive. So how do we rank these? You already caught a Togetic, so you don't need a Togepi. You already caught a Flaffy, so you don't need a Mareep. So this getting an e-reader is just so you can have a scissor. I don't think you want to buy e-reader cards in Colosseum just to get scissor, because you could buy Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, catch yourself a Magneton which has Metal Coat 100% because you can catch only one, and you can catch that Cypher there, gives the Cypher the Metal Coat from the Magneton, and then trade it over to your GBA game, and you have a scissor right available. So this thing goes to F rank, and you need to get some really rare shit, and that's, I think, only distributed, that e-card is also distributed just in Japan, so you have to go through a lot of bullshit just to get this. And with this I conclude the Pokemon XD Colosseum tier list of what do we call a Pokemon worth buying Colosseum for tier list. So I hope you enjoyed, and we may see each other on the next tier list. Goodbye.